Critics always hate the films we think are great, but only one appreciates them all. He serves us every day, he keeps the trolls at bay, though he may be a shade delusional. The shelter of his mouth is moist, he will not give you any choice. Agree with him or else, because he is the film defender.
Magneto, he's my father.
What?
Him and my mom, they did.
No, I know.
Where are you, aggressor? Come on. Any time now. We agreed we would be meeting at a neutral location. I can't believe it. He's given up. He's finally come to the realization that I'm just better at this than he is. Man, it took him long enough. I guess everybody comes to the realization, one way or another, in their own time. There's just no defeating the film. Ow! What the heck?
Oh, was that too loud for you?
Who said that?
Who do you think this is? I've been waiting long enough.
Aggressor?
Well, you finally got something right.
Okay, you gotta be around here somewhere, right? Come out where I can see you, aggressor!
Haha, I knew this would drive you crazy. I figured I'd use this special occasion to pull out all my new mutant powers.
Alright, yeah, sure. Mutant powers. Good one. Just like my clapping power. Come on, nobody buys that stuff.
Well, my ninja moves are so good, I haven't had to use these powers till now.
Well, your ninja moves aren't as good as you think they are.
You're just lucky I'm not there in person, or
Okay, I see where you're going with this. I accept the challenge. If you're too big of a wimp to face me in person, go ahead and try to take me on telepathically. I'll crush you either way.
Fine. There's just the small matter of actually going to see the movie. And then I'll wipe the
Hang
floor.
on. You didn't even see the movie?
Hey, I've got a busy schedule, alright?
And I thought you were a worthy foe. Fine, you know what? I don't even need him.
Wait, what?
Let's go old school on this one, baby. Solo! Welcome to episode 15 of The Film Defender, serving the public good one underrated movie at a time. Today, thanks to fan requests and the unfortunate Rotten Tomatoes score, I am coming to the defense of X-Men Apocalypse. As you can see, I've been on a bit of an X-Men kick lately, and with this most recent and incredibly ambitious film being somewhat disregarded, you might say, by critics, I knew I had to come to its defense. So that's what I'm going to do. But before that, since this is still a movie fairly fresh in theaters, I'm going to have to issue a preliminary spoiler alert. You've been warned. I'm going to spoil it. Objection number 1.
They do not set up this villain very well. Who the heck is this guy?
They actually do set up this villain with a fascinating opening scene in ancient Egypt where En Sabah Nur is transferring his consciousness into another mutant in order to gain his powers of healing. While this is a pretty fast scene and some of the details might go by too quickly for you to catch them, there is exposition later on in the film that'll clear up anything you may have missed. The fact that he's framed as a godlike being and even calls himself by the name of the individual deities from each culture, it's mesmerizing to see him interact with modern-day society and watch him react to humanity's attempts to obtain power. The film doesn't go much into his personal backstory, and who doesn't want the awkward teenage years of Apocalypse explored in more depth? But with the amount of characters this movie already has, I think we get as much backstory from this villain as we need. Objection number 2.
Will someone please explain to me how could they change characters? They can't just change stuff like that!
Contrary to popular belief, allowing a character to evolve is not equivalent to betraying that character. If every character stayed exactly the same, we'd all get supremely bored of them after one film, let alone 8. For example, it's good that Magneto branches out and tries to live a life more in keeping with Xavier's philosophy. Not only do we get a really heartbreaking scene out of it, but we also get an additional glimpse into Eric's complicated psychology. It's not just him either, as we get an alternate version of what would happen to Mysterio Mystique, who was previously disenchanted with humanity, suddenly became a revered figure for preventing the assassination of the President of the United States. We'll get into Jennifer Lawrence's performance later, but I like where these characters are diverging from their expected paths to start this movie. Just relax, okay? Let the characters develop. It's alright. Objection number 3.
I don't really want to try and understand this movie.
Actually, this is a pretty straightforward story if you think about it. A lot of the confusion might just be symptomatic of this being so ingrained in the X-Men universe so as to lose a lot of the novices. Plot-wise, this might be the most basic of the new trilogy, but if you don't know who William Stryker is, or can't remember what happened at the end of Days of Future Past, you're definitely going to be lost. To any who have been following this series, I can't imagine where the confusion might be coming from. Even the continuity isn't that garbled. Just eliminate anything that happened in the previous X-Men series, and you'll be just fine. Just think of X-Men First Class as a Star Trek-esque prequel, and Days of Future Past as a reboot-generating sequel. Nothing else is in continuity with this movie, so it's best to just get them out of your mind. I can't believe more people aren't excited at that prospect, given the mostly negative reception to The Last Stand and X-Men Origins Wolverine. Both of which I defended, by the way. You all complained about it. They removed it from continuity, so why aren't you happy about it? They gave you what you wanted. Just be happy! Objection number 4.
Aren't these supposed to be good actors? Why are they so bad here?
Bad is a really strong word. I wouldn't say any of the performances here are bad. Is Jennifer Lawrence a little wooden? Perhaps. Most of us know about the behind-the-scenes drama regarding her and her displeasure with the size or lack thereof of her contract, so it's easy to see this as a phoned-in performance as a result. However, you could also see this as a character who doesn't know how to respond to a life-changing event like this. Up to this point, she's been on a vengeful crusade, taking over where the imprisoned Magneto left off. After the events of Days of Future Past, however, her entire mission has been turned on its head, and she's actually seen as a hero. I don't blame her for coming across as a bit lost in some of her line readings, given that context. As for the other actors, I think Oscar Isaac gives a really underrated performance as the titular villain, with a menacing mystique, no pun intended, to complement his godlike powers. The rest of the cast is phenomenal, so I think it's completely unfair to claim that this has poor acting. I mean, this isn't the Phantom Menace we're talking about here, which also doesn't have bad acting. Just for the record. So I defended that one as well. Objection number 5.
That Wolverine scene was completely out of place.
You might assume that, and you wouldn't be totally wrong. However, there are specific purposes for this scene's inclusion. For one thing, I think Bryan Singer agrees with most of us that Wolverine is way cooler after getting the adamantium infused on his skeleton. Just look at the ending of Days of Future Past when he was totally useless against the Sentinels. With his metal claws, he would have been much more formidable in that final fight. Not only that, but rumor has it that it's also setting up the upcoming R-rated Wolverine sequel. Apart from that, it's mostly just a fun scene that throws in a fan favorite character and shows him finally go into full-on berserker mode in borderline R-rated fashion. Having him come in contact and have a meaningful interaction with a teenage Jean Grey is pretty cool to see as well. Sure, he might look a little bit goofy with that GoPro headset thing he's got going on, but the fact that it basically comes straight out of the comics and the sheer brutality of Logan's escape allows me to forgive that unfortunate little detail completely. I mean, come on, it's a cool scene. Just enjoy it. That's what I say. Objection number 6.
The ending of that movie was just a bunch of mindless action. Who gives a flying What? How come the other mutants get to say it at least once per film?
For the last time, you do not have mutant powers, alright? Just get over it. I mean, you barely have aggressing powers.
Hey, that's a bit harsh, don't you think?
Sorry. Someone had to tell you. Anyway, this complaint has been much more prevalent lately due to the increase in superhero films being released. Batman v Superman, Captain America Civil War, X-Men Apocalypse, all of them have enormous action scenes with superheroes battling. And apparently, people are getting tired of it. If that's the case for you, then you have my permission not to go see any more superhero films. You can just take them off. At this point, you've got to know what you're getting into, right? So continuing to go out and see superhero films, expecting something other than what superhero films typically offer, puts the blame for your disappointment pretty much right back on you. I've also heard some people complaining that Apocalypse should have just vaporized the X-Men the moment they started to oppose him. What these people fail to realize is that he sees all mutants as his children, not to mention as potential upgrades, and doesn't want to spill mutant blood unnecessarily. Plus, I just can't get over how excited I was when Jean Grey finally tapped into her Phoenix power to take down Apocalypse. It was awesome. That was the ending they were building to, and I'm happy to say that they totally delivered. Well done. In summary, X-Men Apocalypse is a massive culmination of the last two films, where characters evolve and grow over the course of the story. The villain is intimidating, the themes are unique and interesting, and the Quicksilver scene absolutely blew me away. I mean, how much more do I have to talk about this? Just go out and see the movie already. X-Men Apocalypse's updated status, defended. So what did you think of X-Men Apocalypse? Whether attacking or defending, join the fight in the comments section below. And just for the heck of it, go ahead and tell me which of my defenses has been your favorite so far. I'd love to hear from you. Also, is there a movie you love that deserves a strong defense? You can email me, tweet me, contact me on Facebook, or comment with your recommendation below. Thank you guys so much for liking and subscribing to my channel, and if you haven't yet, go ahead and click this flashing subscribe text so that you don't miss any of my defenses to come. Trust me, if I like this movie, it's nothing compared to how much I love you guys. So until next time, the defense rests. Okay, fine then. If you are too chicken to face me in person, then go ahead and take me on psychopathically. Yeah, well, that would be fitting for him. Psycho. He calls himself a worthy villain. Pshaw. Right? Wouldn't be a blooper if it wasn't me fixing my mask. I've been on a bit more casual today. This story is too hard to understand. X-Men universe so as to lose some of the novices. Ugh. As for the other actors, I think Oscar Isaac gives a... What's with this? Speaking of which, I think Oscar Isaac does this very well. I dare you to come closer, Car. I dare you. Ha. Turn it around. That's what I thought. Nobody wants to mess, not even the aggressor. You can't take it. However, there are specific purposes for this film's inclusion. The scene, not the film. The film makes money, that's why it's included. I mean, come on! It's a good scene! What? Whoop, 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 whoop! What? Come on, it's a good scene! Just enjoy it. Come on, hey! Batman v Superman, Captain America Civil War. What was the other one? X-Men Apocalypse, the one I'm talking about. You can email me, tweet me, contact me on Facebook, or comment.
Ha ha!
Dang it.
She looked at me all crazy.
You just gotta get used to that in this type of business.
I think she thought I was laughing at her. I'm not laughing at you. I promise. Hey, I've got a busy schedule, all right?
You said schedule, weird.
Did I?
You said schedule.
Schedule.
Is that how you always say it?
I guess.
I shouldn't make fun of you then. If that's how you always say it, I thought you messed up.
Hey, I've got a busy schedule. So, I don't know how to do this one. I'm just going to hold that note for a minute. The end of that movie was just a bunch of mindless action. Who gives a flying shiz?